The traffic piled up on the fairway, and the monster limped at the first cars that were too boxed in to turn back. The flames erupted and the blood-soaked leech smashed into the driver's side window of the young woman, who screamed for dear life. The beast attempted to pull the woman through the broken window, but she was held fast by way of seatbelt. The monster could not rationalize in a way that a person could, so with its broken arm, it mustered strength enough to rip the car door off rather than take the extra second it needed to pull the handle. It lunged at the woman like a movie zombie and tore into the woman's neck. Blood gushed in a violent spray. Delta swung her little bird over the commotion in horror. She could see that Synth had wrecked so hard he had fallen to frenzy, and from either luck of the draw or pull of his lineage, he sought the blood over shelter from the flames. This was more than she could possibly imagine. Delta piloted the little bird right onto the fairway, despite the traffic, despite the flames. She had many reasons to stay safe and out of sight. Being Nosferatu, a clan of hideous, mouth-throwing monsters, made extended exposure to the human populace a bad idea on many levels. She kept her head down with one hand on her hood so that she didn't have to deal with the accusing eyes of strangers. Delta couldn't stand to look the fire's way, lest she fall victim to the hypnotic primal fear it instilled in her kind. Yet her coterie-mate was ripping through humans in deadlock like a child through gifts under a Christmas tree. She could only imagine the sheer amount of eyes that were on him, and not to mention the potential cameras. She put up a raised hand over her eyes and looked away to the other side of the beautiful wreck. So many man-hours of work were up in flames, broken on that expressway. When Delta pushed past the sweltering heat of the crash, there was a man laid out dead in a mosaic of his own blood. Any kindred that saw this mess would instantly know this was a sloppy feed from someone who had obviously lost control. Delta saw her monstrous friend Synth, still quite out of his mind, bathing in the blood of a woman in her car. She could see humans on the periphery collecting like raindrops to see what was happening, slowly deciding if they could overwhelm the monster. Delta looked at the sorry state of Synth and had to come to a conclusion on what to do in a split second. In a normal stand-up brawl, Delta wasn't quite the fighter, but looking at his current state, she may have had a chance if she took him unaware. Delta called to the powers of her blood and made herself unseen. It wasn't true invisibility, but a form of obfuscation that clouded the mind, temporarily editing one out of their perceptions. Synth growled. His face was a bloody mask. His canine teeth were clearly brandished and visible. He hobbled over to the next car with legs that were knitting themselves together just enough to keep him on his feet. Delta crept up behind her friend, with panicked humans half fleeing, half watching as he stumbled towards his next victim. Delta got right behind Synth, and no one was the wiser. She appeared to the masses in one sudden burst of unadulterated, unimaginable violence. She grabbed Synth's broken head from behind and slammed it into the pavement. Synth didn't immediately go inert, so she had to swiftly crack his skull again. The assembled humans jumped, unable to make sense of the sudden appearance of this woman. Some reached for their phones, while others finally gathered their strength to run in and help. The first man that entered her space took a step back. Delta was a small woman in a flight suit and hoodie. Her face was flawless, too flawless. From the sudden heat, the liquid latex she had poured every night to simulate skin dripped. So, to this human, Delta's face was running. "Stay back," Delta said in warning. The humans complied from fear, if nothing else. Delta picked up her mess of a friend and ran him to her little bird. She winced when she passed the fire, which wasn't quite close or high enough for her to lose control of herself. She flew her helo into the sky and knew that whatever came from this was not going to be good.